Hello. 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 Oop. Don't want to have that on there. Okay. Hello. I hope you guys can hear me, if there's even any guys. Here we go. Need to make sure I'm self-promoting in all of the things. Alright. We were on load. Here we go. Also, geez, the sound is still loud. Advanced sound. Freaking 10, why not? Alright. So, what happened last time? It's been a hot minute. Last time I did this, I was kind of sick and my voice didn't do that well. So yeah, last time we met all these people. We have Ushiromiya Jessica, Kraus and Natsui's daughter. We don't know Kraus or Natsui. In the absence of any irregularities, it is thought that she will eventually inherit the headship of the Ushiromiya family, or technically her husband will. However, she seems to have no interest in all of this. She was born with weak bronchi and is sometimes assailed by sudden asthma attacks. Okay, that hasn't happened yet. We have Ushiromiya Eva, Kinzo's second child. She is hostile towards her brother Kraus and opposes him whenever she can. From issues dealing with the family fortune to the question of who will succeed the family headship. Normally she would have lost her place in the Ushiromiya family register upon her marriage, but she managed to forcibly overcome this by having her husband take her family name. Ushiromiya Hideyoshi, Eva's husband, he took his wife's name upon their marriage and became a member of the Ushiromiya family. He therefore does not possess the spiteful genes passed down through Ushiromiya family members, and his bright smile is very refreshing at the family conferences. He started his business from scratch and now works as the president of a medium-sized restaurant chain. This chain seems to be growing and performing extremely well. Ushiromiya George, Eva and Hideyoshi's son, an affable young man liked by everyone in the family. He is currently studying as an assistant for his father's company, and it seems he dreams of making it on his own one day. As the oldest of the four cousins, he acts as their leader and arbitrator. Ushiromiya Rudolph, Kinzo's third child, along with his sister Eva, he intends to make his voice heard during the family conference to prevent their oldest sibling, Kraus, from keeping all of their father's wealth for himself. His former wife, Asumu, passed away 6 years ago, and he married his current wife, Kairi, shortly after that. And here's Ushiromiya Kairi, Rudolph's second wife. She had already worked alongside him for some time before the death of his first wife, at which time she openly took the position of his wife. She has served as Rudolph's right hand in several shady pieces of business, guiding them to success. She is quick-thinking and well-trusted by her husband. Ushiromiya Battler, this is us. the son of Rudolph and his first wife, Asumu. When his father married a second wife shortly after Asumu's death, Battler rebelled and went to live with his grandparents on his mother's side. However, both of these grandparents passed away, and he has now returned to the Ushiromiya family after 6 years. The family conference is a chance for him to renew his friendship with his cousins after a 6-year gap. Ushiromiya Rosa, Kinzo's fourth child. She is by far the youngest of the 4 siblings. It seems that this gives her a weaker position at the family conference. She manages a design company, but she has yet to start taking it seriously, and its financial situation is far from favorable. Ushiromiya Maria, Rose's daughter, her father's identity is unknown. She can't shake off the habit of speaking like a young child, which often earns her a scolding. She has no interest in studying or making friends, but is very interested in things concerning the occult and black magic. Thanks to her excellent powers of memorization, she knows all kinds of obscure trivia. And servant Kumasawa. This elderly woman is a part-timer who, though she has quit her job several times along the way, has served the family for a great many years in total. She is crafty and more than competent when it comes to performing her duties, but because of her chattiness and love of rumors, she is not highly regarded as a servant. Oh, why did it something crash? Okay. Why was there a glass shattering sound? Okay, otherwise, other things, Battler is afraid of literally any form of transport ever. And we're going to an island because we're a rich family, and that's what rich families do. Because they're rich. And yeah, that's basically everything. I do not remember many of the voices at all. So this is gonna be great. I kinda remember Maria's voice. It's just ew. Gone. What's wrong, Maria? Did you drop something? Ew, ew. Gone, gone. Ew, 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 ew. Maria kept yelling, "Gone, gone." At first, it sounded as though she had dropped something, but while she shouted, she also pointed out over the ocean. What's wrong? What's gone? I'll look for it too, if you want. What is it? If she dropped something, she would probably have looked down at the floor, but Maria was pointing out over the ocean. One would assume by that gesture that she had spotted something, but she kept saying that something wasn't there. Strange. However, since my last memories of this place came from 6 years ago, I was able to spot it before Aniki, who comes here every year. If I remember correctly, wasn't there a torii or something on top of a small crag around here? That's right, it was definitely there. I remember it well, since as we get closer to the island, it's the first thing to greet us, like a landmark. Wow, you're amazing, Battler. Even though it's been 6 years, you remembered. It was here, wasn't it? Oh wait, no. I can't... This is the problem! It doesn't say who is being... I don't know who this even is. Is this George? Was the last one George? I remember too. The tutelary god's shrine and all, and that torii-like thing were standing all along on that alone on that crag. And now that you mention it, they are gone, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they were still there last year. Gone! Gone! Ew, 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 ew. Maybe they were washed away by the waves or something. It was a small crag, so it probably got worn away over time. Oh, hello, I don't remember your voice. Well, that's my theory, too. It was last summer that it disappeared, but they say... Oh, hello. They say an enormous lightning bolt came crashing down one evening and smashed the shrine. The fishermen whisper that having a thunderbolt fall upon our honored tutelary god must be a portent of approaching misfortune. Kuwabara. Kumasawa-san smiled impishly as if teasing us, rubbing her hands together while intoning a Japanese phrase meant to ward off lightning. However, Maria apparently took this seriously and stared fixedly over the ocean to where the crag housing the shrine god was supposed to be. A portent of misfortune. Ew. Enough, Kumasawa-san. Maria isn't old enough to get that kind of joke. It's okay, Maria-chan. It's just a coincidence. Nothing scary's gonna happen. Sure, it's not like I kinda know what's gonna happen. George Aniki put a hand on Maria's shoulder to calm her down, but Maria's sharp-eyed expression didn't waver. Misfortune! Misfortune! Maria muttered that word over and over. Apparently, repeating a single word over and over is a habit that Maria's had for a long time. However, since the word she was saying was literally an ill omen, it was a bit creepy. You don't say. Death! Death! Hey now, Maria. If you say it over and over like that, misfortune will really end up happening, you know? I tapped Maria's other shoulder. Maria whipped her head around, stared into my face, and spoke unblinkingly. Her eyes lit up like headlights and her mouth opened wide, revealing a bunch of centipedes crawling out. Oh, God! I have summoned the god! I have summoned the god of pestilence! And misfortune! Ugh. Oh, jeez, you got closer. Misfortune is coming. Huh? And just where is it coming from? I answered lightheartedly, trying to break the tension in the air. At that moment, Maria held up a finger, raised her arm high, and pointed up to the heavens. Suddenly, a meteorite came down, crashed on the island. When I looked up, I saw that the sky was still just as cloudy, but it had grown a great deal more leaden than it had been that morning. That's right, they were saying that a typhoon was approaching. We had planned to spend one night on the island, but if this storm doesn't pass quickly, I won't be able to make it to school on Monday. Well, I guess it makes for a pretty good excuse to be absent. Ew. She apparently sensed some kind of misfortune in this cloudy sky that was more cloudy than before. I don't know, I think it might be the oncoming of a storm. Like, that's just my opinion. She's been muttering that non-stop for a while now. Girls at Maria's age tend to be very impressionable. She's just about the age that many girls start to get excited about sixth senses and whether they have any psychic potential and stuff. For all we know, this might be due to her childish, sensitive nature. Anyway, here's the boat. It's okay, Maria-chan. The weather might get worse tonight, but tomorrow will clear up and become a pretty blue sky. Ew. Pretty blue sky. Ew. That's right. By tomorrow, it'll be a pretty blue sky. There's no rain that doesn't end, and no clouds that never clear. Ew. Rain that doesn't end. Clouds that never clear. Ew. I know the typhoon's coming, but soon it'll go away. It'll be okay, Maria. Ew! Ew! Ew, 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 ew! Ew, 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 ew. Maria started yelling, ew, ew. It looked as though she was having a tantrum because no one could understand what she was trying to say. What in the world is Maria trying so desperately to warn us about? Unable to understand her, we couldn't help but feel a vague sense of misfortune. I've heard that everyone can feel the supernatural, but that it weakens as you age. That might mean that Maria, the youngest one of us all, still possesses some kind of sense that the rest of us had lost. I wonder if that sense is sending her a warning. At that moment, Kumasawa-san quietly opened her mouth. A rumor has it that long ago, Rokenjima was... Kumasawa-san, Let's not talk about that right now. What, is it gonna be like a volcano? Just as Kumasawa-san was about to tell some kind of story, Jessica sharply interrupted her. Jessica's tone was extremely firm for her. I wanted to push her further, just out of simple curiosity, but judging by the look on Jessica's face, whatever Kumasawa-chan was likely to say would probably make Maria even more uneasy. If I did try to press her for the story, the odds were pretty good that it wouldn't be anything bright and cheery. Oh, I do apologize about that. The wind here is hard to bear for the elderly, so if you would excuse me for now. Gossipers have no reason to hang around after they've been told to stop chatting. When Kumasawa-san finally realized that she'd overstepped her bounds, she went back inside the boat. Hey, it's me! After she left, Uncle Hideyoshi showed up in her place. Since he'd arrived mid-conversation, he completely failed to notice the complicated atmosphere that hung about the scene. So he refreshingly and unwittingly swept that atmosphere aside. So in the end, it was his lack of tact that brightened the mood. Looks like we're almost there! Okay, just a bit more. Took forever at the speed we went today, didn't it? Wonder whose fault that was. Uncle Hideyoshi, give me a break already. Come on, don't stop there. Seriously, thanks to Battler here, it's taken forever. Ew. Maria probably thought that everyone was refusing to listen to her. Yeah, she hung her head, wearing a fretful expression. As she did, George Aniki crouched down to meet her eyes and spoke to her kindly. Maria-chan, there's nothing to be afraid of, because we're all together. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're together. Go ahead and say it. Ew. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're together. Yes. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're with each other. Ew. Well, that's not how I'm supposed to be standing in this place. Falls over into the chair. That's right. Exactly what George Aniki said. I hate all of these Japanese honorifics. The localization for this game is practically non-existent. It's just all straight translation, it seems. Even keeping the honorifics, which are very hard to say in English. George Aniki. What? I've never even heard of Aniki before. Aniki. Oh, I'm gonna search that up. Aniki honorific. Rougher slang variation along the lines of bro, sis, also used to refer to higher ranking members in a gang. That makes sense. Yeah, no, I only know Chan and San and like Kun, Sensei, Senpai. Those are the ones I know. If we stick together, there'll never be anything at all to be afraid of. Right, Jessica? Yeah, no doubt about that. What George Nissan says is always true, Maria. Ew. George Oni-chan, always true. Yes, I don't lie. So trust me, there's nothing to be afraid of if we're all together. Ew. George Oni-chan doesn't lie. I trust you. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're all together. Ew. Not afraid. Maria jumped into George Aniki's arms and hugged him tightly. After Aniki patted her head, she jumped away again. Her facial expression had undergone a 180-degree change. It's upside down now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Maria, your eyes are upside down. Yeah, I know, they just do that sometimes. Okay. She was once again the ordinary Maria, but with her eyes on the bottom. Ew. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore, because we're together. Ew, ew. Yeah, that's it. You look all better now. You're strong and that's awesome. Ew! I'm awesome! Hey now, what's going on here? Maria-chan didn't get seasick, did she? Well, something like that. We'll be arriving soon. The harbor was already drawing near. And then leaves sprouted out from around us. Oh, that's the end of the chapter, it seems. Well, guys, that was a fun game. It was really fun. I enjoyed that game quite a lot. Is the clock supposed to be moving? Okay. Uh-oh, wait. Achievement unlocked. Welcome to Rokenjima. Because nobody's even here. The boat gave a big shudder. It seems we've docked at the harbor. The boat driver came out and jumped to the pier with the mooring rope. A large man in a tuxedo was waiting for us there with a warm smile. I didn't recognize his face, but judging by his clothes, I guessed he was a servant of the Ushiromiya head household. Okay. Welcome home, milady. You were so late in returning that I began to worry. Ah, thanks for caring. This moron got so scared, we had to slow down. It was seriously annoying. Shut up. Someday when the shoe's on the other foot, you'll remember this. At this rate, word will spread to the whole family and I'll be the big conversation piece during dinner. Even without this, everyone would be talking about me because of that 6-year gap. But now I've given them an even juicier... Okay? Okay. That was weird. That was very weird. I don't know what happened there. Kinda died. For a second. Everybody, hello? Hello, it's on like Donkey Kong. Okay. I don't know why I keep on saying everybody as if I actually have an audience. As if there's people in the chat. Okay. I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Anyway, yeah, I can't do a butler voice. I thank you for your concern. It is always my pleasure to serve. I think that's gonna be good. Patley-kun, isn't this your first time meeting Goda-san? If I'm not mistaken, you weren't working here 6 years ago, right? Indeed. So please, allow me to greet him for the first time. It is an honor to meet you, Battler-sama. I'm pretty confident about my height, but you're huge. Even though, like, you're next to each other, our sprites look about the same height, but, don't worry about that. This is definitely our first meeting. I'd never forget meeting a big guy like you. It's a pleasure. I'm Battler. I was looking forward to meeting you. I am Goda, and then it's in Japanese. Your servant, and I've been working for the Ushiromiya head family since the year before last. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. If there is anything you need, please feel free to rely on me at any time. Goda-san, it's been some time. It has been too long, George-sama. Please, allow me to assist you. As usual, you're a pro at welcoming guests. If you ever need a job, just let me know, okay? I'd hire you anytime. You do me too much honor. Please, allow me to assist you, Hideyoshi-sama. Goda-san then lent a hand to everyone as they disembarked, greeting them as they passed. His speech and mannerisms had the refined polish of a professional. He was very graceful, in contrast with his initially tough-looking appearance. His large size made him seem a bit scary at first, but he was much more polite than my first impression had led me to believe. He claimed to have served on the island for 2 years, but he had doubtless worked at a similar job somewhere before. After everybody disembarked, the mooring rope was untied, and the boat started to steer away from the harbor. There's a pile of logs over there, and is that a train track? Why is there a train track? Actually, that's probably just a boardwalk. I'm dumb. It was probably returning to its home port on Nijima. The captain waved his hand in farewell. Maria conscientiously waved her hand back. Now that I think about it, that must be why I felt something out of place for a while now. I can't hear the cries of the seagulls. Yeah, that's it's Umineko when the seagulls cry, and the seagulls aren't crying at the moment. Seagulls, the birds. If I remember correctly, whenever we came to this island in the past, the seagulls always greeted us with their lively, not lovely. I was like, Battler, what the heck are you talking about? Seagulls go like, ah! That's how seagulls sound like. Yeah. The lively, nya. That's freaking cats. What? Battler, are you okay? Are you sure? Maybe this is why he doesn't go on any forms of transportation. He gets all funny in the head and starts saying... Because of that, whenever I hear the cries of seagulls anywhere who might be cats, I get the feeling that I'm coming to a family conference. Except for the small part of the island where those of the Ushirimiya head family live, Orokinshima has been left uncultivated, which apparently makes it a paradise for wild birds that sound like cats. Supposedly, there was a cliff somewhere that housed a huge seagull colony, so this island was always full of seagulls. Not having those seagulls here to greet us made me feel a bit lonely. Wait. I don't remember. Which one are you? Oh, there's also this. Servant Goda. A servant hired as a cook. He hasn't served this family long, but through his earlier jobs and previous experience, he has cultivated a talent for entertaining guests. Because of this, he is very highly regarded as a servant. Okay, which one are you? Rosa. Okay, I don't know any of us. I saw you. I haven't seen you yet, this thing. I'm just gonna do something. What's wrong? Sorry, that's very masculine. What's wrong, Battler-kun? Oh, Aunt Rosa. Nah, it's nothing really. I was just thinking it's a bit lonely without the cries of the seagulls. My, that's true now that you mention it. Even though they're always so noisy, today there isn't one to be seen. Ew, why no seagulls? Maybe it's because the seagulls are having a get-together somewhere too. Maria, did you want to see the seagulls? Ew, wanted to see them. Still, it's a bit strange there isn't even a single one around. Maybe Jessica grilled them all and ate them. Ew! The hell, don't say disturbing stuff like that. You'll get Maria believing it. Ew. Jessica Oni-chan grilled them. Jessica Oni-chan grilled them. Ew! I did not. Why the hell would I do something like that? That's right. Jessica grilled them. Skinning meatballs, liver and onion. Swimming meatballs, liver and onion. Ew. At least they kind of translated it so that it wasn't fully all the Japanese stuff. As I made fun of Jessica, Maria tagged along, looking like she was having fun. Oh, I never guessed she was such a good sport. Alrighty then, from today on, I'll make you my #1 follower. As I smiled at her, she beamed, looking overjoyed, possibly because she was happy about this little connection we'd made with each other. Why don't I have a frickin' water in here? That's not it, Maria-chan. I've heard wild birds are attuned to changes in the weather and atmospheric pressure. Because they're birds, they gotta be up in the sky, where all the weather is happening. The weather will probably get worse tonight. The seagulls might have returned to their nests early. Ew. Not grilled? Just One-chan didn't grill them? No. I wouldn't do something like that. Battler, you admit right now that you lied. Battler-kun. Maria-chan is a naive girl, so she takes even jokes seriously. You should choose your jokes more carefully. George Aniki gently scolded me. Even though I outstripped Aniki in height, Aniki was Aniki, of course. There was no choice but to obediently apologize. Sure. My bad. Maria, that was a joke. The seagulls are all taking it easy in their nest today, that's all. Battler lied? George Oni-chan told the truth? Had she actually been tricked despite all that fun she was having? Her pure eyes made me feel guilty. Maybe I went a little overboard with her after all. Yeah, that's right. What George Aniki said was true. The weather's bad, so they probably went home for the day. It doesn't mean they're gone. Right, Aunt Rosa? That's right. Tomorrow, when the weather gets better, I'm sure they'll come back so we can hear them cry like they always do. Ew. I'll wait until the weather gets better and then come back. Gotta wait until tomorrow. Gotta wait until the weather's better. Ew. Maria was in a lighter mood and was looking forward to tomorrow, when the seagulls would come back and fill the skies. Still, George Aniki was amazing at taking care of kids. I think I remember Aniki taking good care of me as well when I was a brat 6 years ago. Aniki, that's probably your gift. George-kun is amazing at taking care of young kids. If you wanted to, I'll bet you'd do great with a job in childcare, don't you think? Yeah, it's almost like George Nissan was born to do something like that. Personally, I think that'd suit you better than doing business in some company president's office. Oh, no, childcare is a fine career path, but it's not a job where merely liking children is enough. You really are modest, George-kun. But Battler-kun is quite good with children, too. Just a second ago, even though it didn't last long, Maria seemed to be having a lot of fun. Please, keep on playing with her like you did just now. Just choose your jokes more carefully, okay? Aunt Rosa winked at me, giggling a little. She's a real mother, I thought to myself, who's happy to see Maria having fun. Uh-oh. I don't remember your voice. You're the shit guy. Come on, Rosa. And you brats too. What the hell are you doing? Let's get going. Okay, we're coming. The old bastard was waving for us to hurry up. Yeah, we needed to get moving. We might as well have had this conversation after setting our luggage down in our rooms. Now then, everyone, allow me to lead you to the guest house, where you will be spending the night. Please, this way. Goda-san called to everyone and led the way. Kumasawa-san brought up the rear. And we went through the wooden path that's all slightly fuzzy. A serpentine. I hate talking so much. A serpentine. And I immediately did it again. I suck, I did it again. Why do I suck so much? This is stupid. This is so stupid. A serpentine twisting path led through a dim forest. It ran a bit uphill. I'd guess the path was made all twisty so the slope wouldn't seem too steep. But personally, I'd have been happier if they'd had the guts to make some stairs in a straight line. No doubt they made the path twist on purpose to put on airs of distance and importance. Before long, we saw garden-style stone steps. From here on I do have some memories. Go up these and at the top of the stone steps we saw a beautiful guest house. It's hidden in these flowers. Its facade was lovely, of course, but more importantly, we couldn't enter its doors without having our hearts stolen away by the splendor of the beautiful rose garden spreading before it. Ooh, that actually kind of looks really neat. It's as beautiful as ever this year. A real delight for the eyes. After climbing the stone steps, the people greeted by the rose garden gave voice to their impressions one by one. I already forgot your voice, even though you already said stuff to that. Is it just me, or are the flowers a little less lively this year? It's probably because it wasn't that hot this summer. I also believe that was a factor. Sadly, this year's blooming is a tad inferior when compared to last year's. Even so, it was a delightful rose garden. I remember that even 6 years ago, huge numbers of roses had greeted us every year. This rose garden was the first thing that greeted the people who came to Rokenjima. Even our parents, who came every year, couldn't help but give voice to their admiration. In fact, it seemed to have undergone a power-up from the garden in my memories of 6 years ago. This place is always so amazing. It would be wonderful to have a rose garden like this at home. Give it up. Who do you think would take care of it? Roses are a real pain, with bugs and diseases to worry about. Well, from what I've heard, Kiri-san, to worry, Rosa-san. When a rose gives you too much trouble, it's always best to snip it at the root. Oh gosh, where did you get those gardening clippers? Oh gosh, you cut him right in half! From the torso, I can see the intestines! Such frightening talk this is. Guys who are popular with the ladies are always forced to live dangerously. I sure hope I turn out a bit prettier in my next life. Hideyoshi Nissan, like I keep saying, it isn't like that at all. And Kairi, stop it. You're freaking me out. You've made my rose wilt. Hey, Maria-chan, look over here. These roses are especially magnificent. Magnificent roses! Ew! Smells pretty sweet. Look, this suits my elegance perfectly. Hey, cut it out. Maria's gonna imitate you and get hurt by the thorns. She yelled at me as I leaned in to smell the rose's scent with an exaggerated gesture. I thought she was overreacting, but when I turned around, I saw Maria imitating my every gesture and George Anarchy smiling broadly at us. Hey now, Maria-chan, be careful. Rose thorns can hurt. Ew. George Oni-chan, only this rose is strange. Ew. Strange? What's wrong? Maria pointed at a single rose. I immediately understood why she found it odd. It was actually a seagull. In the midst of all these magnificent roses, one single rose was just starting to wilt. There wasn't any particular reason. Some roses flourish and others wilt. That's all there was to it, but Maria seemed very concerned about the only unhealthy one in the group. It must have made her feel lonely. So, you feel sad for this rose because it's the only one that isn't healthy? Ew. The others are all healthy, but this one's sad. Well, they all bloom and wither at their own paces. I'll bet this one's just starting to wilt early, because it got to bloom before any of the others. Yeah, that's right. It probably just bloomed like crazy, fulfilled its duty, and went to sleep. You shouldn't get so worked up about it. Ew. It seemed that Maria's pure, sensitive nature was making her feel some emotional pain for the rose that wilted alone. Even though she understood the logic of it, it still felt lonely to her. Then, Maria-chan, why don't you look after this rose until we leave? Ew. George Anarchy straightened up and felt around in his pocket. He then took out the wrapper from the candy he had been sucking on the plane. He twisted it into a thin string, then gently tied it to the rose as a sort of marker. Hey, that's pretty cute. Let's mark it with this. Later on, you can come and give it some water. I'm sure Mr. Rose will be happy. Ew! Come to give it water! I think you should give Mr. Rose here a name. I'm sure that'll make it happy, and you'll get to know it little better. A name? A name. Ew, ew. I can vaguely hear seagulls. Cool. Though she still wore her usual sullen face, Maria crossed her arms and began to consider this intently. At the very least, she appeared to have been completely pulled out of her slump. Nice going, Aniki. George Nissan has always been really understanding. Can't help but respect him. Yeah, I guess he was just born that way. We've got to start picking up tips. Still? No? Guys? Shouldn't it be more? Okay. Was this garden just as magnificent when you were all kids? I still don't know your voice. Gosh darn it. Why do you have to exist? You do know that I wanted you to see this garden the way it was before, too. Everyone, if you please, I shall guide you to your rooms now. Goda-san called to ask if if we were ready. But our hearts had been completely stolen away by the rose garden that none of us had seen for a year. And for me, 6 years, I guess. So we didn't pay much attention to him. Since we weren't in a travel group, it wasn't like we had a strict schedule to follow. Besides, since our parents were visiting their old home full of nostalgia, it wasn't like they had to let themselves be urged on by anyone or anything. Understanding the situation, Goda-san continued to wait, smiling widely, until our parents got tired of the roses and told him to guide us to our rooms. Oh? Hey! If it isn't Kanan-kun! It's been so long. How are you doing? Uncle Hideyoshi suddenly shouted. Who are you? I mean, I guess you're Kanan. You look like frickin' Sasuke. Hi, Sasuke. In the direction he was waving was a slender boy. Meeting him right after a huge man like Goda probably emphasized his small stature. Also, for some reason, he's frickin' dressed like Franziska von Karmuth. The boy was in the middle of transporting piled-up gardening tools and the like in a wheelbarrow. When he realized he was being called to a stop, he set down the wheelbarrow, took off his hat, and bowed his head. Okay, what voice? What voice do you get? Good afternoon. I figured he was probably younger than me, and I realized by the general atmosphere surrounding him that he was another servant. He greeted us in response to Uncle Hideyoshi's call, but he seemed like he might be pretty unsociable most of the time. It was a greeting that lacked feeling. When Goda-san noticed that our interest had shifted towards him, he went to the boy's side and introduced him to us. Butler-sama, allow me to introduce you. This is one of the servants of the Ushuramiya head household. Kanan-san, greet our guest. I'm pleased to meet you. I am the servant, Kanan. Yep, my first impression wasn't wrong. He seemed to be unsociable, or at least not so good at talking. Compared to Goda-san, who was extraordinarily polished as a servant, you couldn't help but fear an inexperience typical of his age. When Goda-san urged him in a whisper to give a bit more of an introduction, the boy named Kanan only cast his eyes downwards. Kanan-san, could you perhaps give them a little more of a greeting? No, because we are furniture. He didn't seem to be refusing to greet us out of spite. Rather, he seemed to have fallen silent because he didn't know what else to say to us in greeting. Well, Kanan-kun's shy and doesn't tend to talk much. He might not be that sociable, but deep down, he's a really good person. Don't get him wrong. You've been working here for 3 years, haven't you? Pretty sure you started a year before Gota-san, right? Even though he wasn't exactly giving a terrible first impression, Jessica hurriedly backed him up. I see. Apparently his unsociable nature causes him trouble a lot. Why does it feel weird? Yeah, weren't we at 4 minutes? What the hell is going on? What is going on? Where's your... Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's 4 freaking things. What is with the internet? I might have to end this early. Oops. Well, that's great. This is great. Okay then, nice to meet you. I'm Battler. I'm 18. How old are you? He fell silent, as though wondering whether or not it was a question he'd have to answer. But here again, Jessica plowed ahead. If I remember correctly, Kanen's 2 years younger than us, so 16, right? Yes, that is correct. It looked like he would have preferred not to tell us his age if given the choice. That was probably because he thought we'd look down on him for it. I remember that when I was around his age, I hated being asked how old I was by adults. I see. 16, huh? That's gotta be a delicate time. Which means I probably asked something I shouldn't have. I'm glad you're about our age. Just be cool and call me Battler. And I'll call you Kanen. Thank you very much. But the sentiment alone is insufficient, Battler-sama. Jessica looked panicky for some reason. She seemed to think my impression of Kanen was getting worse because of his refusal. Well, as a girl, Jessica probably couldn't understand the fretful male heart at this age. As his elder, even by just 2 years, I took it upon myself to be understanding of that. Okay, whatever. I'm done. Okay. Just gonna save. Actually, I'm gonna read your thing first. Servant Kanen, a young servant. He performs his duties silently and diligently, but is not so highly regarded as a servant due to his unsociable nature. There are multiple other servants with the On character in their pseudonyms. He and Shannon just happened to be the ones on duty that day. Because, I don't know who Shannon is. Okay. Just gonna save. Yeah, I'm just gonna end